customer experience changes every second, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a different process, there's a different this, and it's like your SOP playbook can get to 100+ pages.
I find it so frustrating when I, write into support and whether it's a bot or not, get a response that is, I already answered the question that they're asking me, and that's really just a waste of everyone's time.
So hot take, every channel that you're on has a different expectation,
Yes.
and you should plan accordingly.
Hey friends, welcome to Above the Fold podcast. I'm your host, Jess Servion. We're going to be talking about everything in your customer's journey. You're going to learn things about customer experience, brand experience, and marketing secrets that help you drive your brand success. So stay tuned, buckle up, and let's get into the episode.
Welcome back to another episode of Above the Fold podcast with me, Jess. This week, I am joined by Max Wallace, Director of CX, and Kara Randle, CX Manager at Tommy John. Together, they've helped scale one of the most customer-obsessed teams in the premium apparel space, where comfort isn't just a product promise, it's a CX mandate. We're talking about building strong teams, evolving support in a digital-first world, and how to balance empathy, operations, and bottom-line thinking. Max, can you introduce yourself?
Of course. I'm Max. I'm the CX Director at Tommy John. I've actually been here for going on 11 years, which is wild and pretty rare nowadays.
Yeah.
Before that, I was pretty much just out of college for a bit. Actually, I was in law school and realized I didn't want to do that anymore. So I found my way into CX. Didn't think I'd stay, but now I love it and I'm happy to be here.
Love it. And Kara?
Yes. Hi, I'm Kara. I've been at Tommy John for 6 years now, which is also quite rare, but not as rare as 11 years. But before then, I actually started my career at Birchbox, which was the beauty sample subscription service. And then from there, I went to Swell Bottle doing customer service for about 4 years. And then I made my way to Tommy John.
Cool. How did you guys find each other? I mean, so Max, like you obviously were before Kara, and like, how did you find Kara in in the haystack of people?
Yeah, no. And that was actually, I think, like kind of a lengthy process as well. So basically you started in 2019. And prior to 2018, Tommy John was a men's only company, mostly underwear for anyone that doesn't know, but loungewear, sleepwear, etc., all about comfort. And then in 2018, we launched our women's collection. And in 2019, it was originally just underwear. In 2019, we launched our bras, which is a really big deal. It just makes up a big market share, and there's a lot that goes into the bra business in general. And we were actually about to lose someone on my team that had been with us for a while, and we needed to fill that position. And we really wanted someone to kind of also own this kind of part of the women's business related to CX. And I don't remember how exactly. I just remember being very impressed reading through, your experience. Wow. And us just really clicking as well from that first meeting. And then I think some time went by. We had to put a pause on hiring, but then it wound up working out and we got back in touch and the rest is history.
Yeah,
and,
I think it was about 3 months in
yes,
between.
Yeah, it was the summer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But honestly, I do think we make a really, really great team, and I can't imagine not working with you. So I'm very grateful for that.
I know where there's one, there's always both of you. Yes. And I actually love that. Yeah. I really, this is just an observation that I've noticed that you always take a moment to highlight Kara. Oh, yeah. I noticed that.
I have to, she's a big part of our success. So
she a baddie.
Yes. And she's just generally awesome. So genuinely appreciate and love getting to spend time with her.
Awesome.
Hanging out with you.
Yeah, we're just hanging out, y'all, Okay, well, let's get into it. Let's get into the work, right? Let's talk about career pivots, CX foundations, and why it matters. Kara, you're in the heart of the daily customer pulse. What drew you to CX and what keeps it fulfilling for you?
Yeah, absolutely. ever since, my very first job way back in high school, which was actually working at Walgreens, I've always worked in a support function. So I've always been drawn to, the service field. I originally, it was one of those like fresh out of college kind of roles. But I loved it. I love, talking to customers, helping people. And then really as time went on, being able to like shape those experiences has been really nice. So like being able to actually create the customer service that I would like to see from, companies. Yeah. So that's really, kept me, in the industry.
Yeah. It's so funny how we like all just end up in this industry,
And like it's amazing that we did. Like, I'm so happy we're here. It's the best group of people. It really is.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, it's literally like the mafia.
Yeah.
I'm just saying this out loud. CX is like the mafia. You fuck with one, you fuck with them all.
Yes.
And we can curse on this podcast.
It's a tight-knit community.
I know.
We don't live in the same city, but we get to see each other a good amount. Last time I saw you was in Vegas.
Yeah.
For Shop Talk. It's wonderful. I feel so grateful.
Yeah. Max, you've been in this industry for quite some time now, right? Like, so with Tommy John specifically, almost 11 years. What have you noticed has changed from customer experience versus like customer expectations in that time frame?
Yeah, so I would say that I really started in CX during the peak of startup kind of culture, everything around that, like this office has a bar or unlimited snacks and all that. And obviously that still exists today, but I feel like we're talking like maybe 2011 to 2013, 2014. I feel like that was just really the heyday. And it was also the time where I think CX teams nobody was saying no to a customer ever. And we don't like saying no to customers nowadays either. But I think that since that time, 10-ish years ago, due to a number of reasons, I think that a lot of CX teams have had to kind of become a bit more, if not strict with their policies, just more cognizant of some behaviors that we're seeing. Whether it be related to, friendly fraud or not. But I think that over time, there is less of a sense of, we always have to do what the customer is asking. And like I said, while we always want to do that, I think that times have changed a bit and we all are just being a bit more cautious.
Yeah. I think it's caution at this point, because it's like the scams have gotten so crazy.
They have.
Like, I'm sorry. And then I also think with like, products are so easily attainable at this point when you have so many channels like an Amazon or a TikTok or even like D2C direct or even retail, right? Like there's so many different channels. I mean, even think about like that app Flip was a thing. That people can attain the product so easily, but then it's really hard to like decrease that fraud. Because I've just seen some crazy shit recently.
And it's just, I mean, it's our word against theirs or vice versa. It's hard to make a judgment call on those sorts of situations. And that's actually really where our team can struggle is knowing when to say no or when to, send a replacement for an order that is claimed to be lost. So it's tough right now, I would say. And I think that we're all sort of having this conversation and trying to navigate it the best we can. And also still do right by our loyal customers and, the good guys. So,
yeah, I agree. Well, this is more of a question to you both, right? I'm curious, like, what's the culture like on the Tommy John CX team, both internally and externally?
So internally, we have a pretty small, tight-knit team. It's just Max, myself, we have a CX team lead, and then we have a fraud manager.
Okay.
So we're all, very close. Everybody has been working on the team for at least 3 years. Actually, our fraud manager
Yeah, he started the same year I did, so it's been a minute. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
right. I know.
The tenure at Tommy John is insane.
I know. There's others too that are 9, 10.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I think it's definitely a testament to like we're doing something right, you know.
Yeah.
And we have amazing people. We really do.
Yeah. Well, let's switch it to like building systems and like what that team growth even looks like, right? Like that you're supplying that like ability to have like that tenure. Max, so you've seen CX go from scrappy to strategic, but how do you grow a support team without losing what made it great in the first place?
Yeah. So also, I think maybe to pick up on what you were saying, when I started, it was just a small in-house team, bigger than it was now, because we had all agents in-house. And then in 2016, we started to outsource support. We use a BPO in Vegas as well as Mexico. And that was definitely, that was a big decision. At the time, a lot of companies and competitors were mainly doing things in-house. But honestly, it was, definitely one of the obviously best decisions we've ever made. And to answer your question, we were able to scale with them because of our involvement. That's honestly, I don't think there's really any other way to do it, to scale with them and keep up that level of service, that level of premium service. You have to be involved. I can't even imagine, it's just something. They're our coworkers. They're our team. We're in touch with them daily. We were in touch with them an hour ago. And we visit them. When we were at Shop Talk, we took an extra couple days to go see them and spend time in the office and take them out for a night out, for some drinks and food. And I think that you really just need to stay close to them. There's just so much going on daily within the company, things that we're trying to stay up to date on,
dude, all
that
the time.
if we did not have that level of communication, like I really just I can't imagine it. So I think that in some way you absolutely need to have someone that is staying really close to the agents on the team in order to scale and keep that premium level of service.
Yeah, totally. Kara, like on your end, what does training look like for your team? Like, I mean, there are so many things going on, right? Like, how do you train right now, and especially when you're trying to hire and onboard pretty fast?
Absolutely. And Max, feel free to jump in as well. But so we actually have created some really in-depth training SOPs for our team, as well as, so as Max was talking about, some of our agents have actually been on the team for quite some time. I would say that we actually have pretty built out training SOPs that we've made over the years that are, super in depth, and, you'd be able to look at it and pretty much know how to operate on our customer service team, I would think, after reading them. I mean, it's about how many pages? Like 100?
Dude, yeah.
And also, I mean, like you were saying, we've had people on our team, agents as well as, team leads that have been with us. Actually, our program manager, Zach, has been with us since 2016, the year we started. He started as an agent. He's been with us for 9 years.
Because I'm like shook at this tenure, It's
wild. And quite honestly, treating your team, giving them the time of day and, making sure that they're set up for success.
Yeah.
Really will come back to you, because quite honestly, we are one of the more sought after campaigns at the call center that we work with. So, that's great because we're able to really get some wonderful talent just through word of mouth there. But yeah.
Yeah, and we have some agents on the team that have been, promoted to our training leads. So they are able to really manage that training portion. So we have new hires. There's about 2 agents on the team that are just like complete experts on the processes. So they will actually lead training. We'll definitely be involved in like the beginning stages and the end stages with like maybe giving like a quiz and just seeing how they're doing. But, they really own that process and they're really good at it. So.
And one of the first parts of training too is obviously we get on a call and we chat with them and talk through kind of just like really high level, what we kind of expect out of our CX team, and that we're excited to have them on board. And then we obviously do, check in a few times throughout the training. And oh shoot, what was I just going to say about the training docs? Oh, also, it's ongoing. So we were just actually reviewing yesterday some refresher materials that one of our trainers put together. So that's important as well. Like it really doesn't stop. There's process changes that happen randomly. There's new product that's released that we need to really make sure everyone's has product knowledge on, because they're speaking to our customers. They're the product experts, and in order for them to make appropriate recommendations, they need to be able to speak to the product well. We send them product. A lot of them are able to kind of relay that firsthand experience wearing the product, which is wonderful. So yeah, there's obviously a formal training, but then we're constantly updating them, passing along.
I know it's like I mean, it's hard. It's exactly what we're talking about. Like the customer experience changes every second, right? There's a different process, there's a different this, and it's like your SOP playbook can get to 100+ pages, so the tactic of staying close to the team and being able to like handhold them a little bit to train them is like really important. I'm really curious about what type of metrics are you guys looking at? I mean, like I know for me, CSAT is great, but that only really tells me individually. Like what are your favorite metrics?
Yes. So definitely CSAT for sure a bit. We're now actually looking more closely at, revenue per interaction, which is wonderful because that is something that we recently actually included in our QA rubric. Ensuring that our agents are, if they have an appropriate opportunity to do so, offering to add something to the order. We have a lot of people calling in to place orders, so it's important that they make suggestions if they see they've only purchased underwear. Hey, would you like to try our pajama pants? So we've been really focusing on that, and to be able to track that not only through QA to see how they're doing, but in terms of reporting, that's very helpful as well to see that, this person, has a conversion rate of X%, or, for this month, attributed revenue of X dollars. That's been very helpful. So that's really been a game changer for us recently.
Yeah. Is there any sort of like metrics that you prefer, Kara?
No, I mean, similar to that, the thing that I'm close to is NPS. So really...
hot take. That's a hot take. Like most e-commerce brands don't look at NPS.
Yeah.
You know?
We're looking at that every day. So, and staying close to that. So that's the one that's top of mind for me.
Yeah, I know. I think when I was like, well, honestly, any team that I like advise, and even previously, I use NPS, but I come from a SaaS background before I ever was in e-commerce. So that's why it's really important. But what's so interesting, and as we talk about like trends in the industry, what's interesting is that customer experience is becoming more focused on the consumer journey overall, and not just like about support. Yes, it's about revenue, but it's like, how do you psychologically convince your customer to purchase, right? So that is why NPS is so important, because you're looking at the entire customer journey and then rating if this is a good journey or not.
Exactly. It's pulling in, feedback about their shipping experience or shopping experience or interactions with us. So yeah, I have always really valued staying close to NPS.
Yeah, totally. So, Kara, you're often the first line of defense when things go sideways. How do you coach your team to stay present and human, especially during busy seasons?
Yeah, absolutely. So, first of all, I think it starts before that escalated situation
Mhm.
happens. It starts way before then. Really just, talking to our leads. We have a few team leads that are at our BPO, and they are equipped to handle the escalated conversations. But of course, there's always a few that, fall above, like that slip through the cracks above that and that need to be escalated even further. So I think really we give them the tools to feel comfortable to help those customers. We empower them to help them as they would like to help them. So for example, if it's a very upset customer and it's a high value order and something went awry and the customer is escalating it, we empower them to feel comfortable to refund that whole order, to give extra store credit and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's not just our leads out there. It's also our agents that we really work to empower, so it doesn't get to be that escalated. We have guidelines in place to help them make those judgment calls as to whether they're going to replace an order, refund an order, issue some store credit. But we really want them to feel like we trust them because we've taught them. We've given them this information. We know they're solid and they do a great job. So we want them to feel empowered to make those decisions on their own. And of course, a customer, will want to speak to someone else.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, but like Kara
Just
was
change
saying-
agents.
Keep calling in.
Yeah.
But like Kara was saying, our leads as well will
Yeah.
also do a great job with that. But we're certainly not, we're responding to customers as well as we need to.
Absolutely.
Christmas Eve last year, I was texting a customer somehow at one point from my personal cell phone.
Yeah.
And I was happy to do it because it was getting a bit, tough.
Yeah.
And we're always jumping in as we need to.
Yeah. That's good leadership. It's not just being like, okay, bye, see you later.
Yep.
Hope you figure it out,
Exactly. Yep.
Max, I mean, on the same vein, right? Like there's always pressure to speed things up, especially in like any industry, right? What's your philosophy on balancing efficiency with actual care though?
So I would say if we really look at what we're hearing from customers, it's very rare, even if a ticket winds up sitting for a bit, it's very rare, specifically for emails. It's rare that we're getting complaints about response time.
Yeah.
Even if it's for whatever reason been a decent amount of time. And it's obviously something we're very aware of and we do our best. We do have really great metrics there. But overall, of course, in my opinion, I think quality is so much more important. Obviously, you're not going to let someone wait for a week without being somewhat in touch with them and giving them updates. But quality trumps all, in my opinion. I think that I would be, as a customer, I am more frustrated by a really subpar email from support than I am having to wait a little longer than I would hope.
Yeah.
I find it so frustrating when I, write into support and whether it's a bot or not, get a response that is, I already answered the question that they're asking me, and that's really just a waste of everyone's time. So
Yeah.
I'd much rather wait a bit longer and get a, full response. And, that'll just move things along quicker.
I completely agree with you. I think it's really interesting, even going back to the metrics, right? Going back to like understanding metrics and what metrics we should be looking at. I was coaching a CX manager recently, and they were so focused on first response time. And I had to like break that in like their thought process. That first response time was like the make it or break it, because at the end of the day, it's not about how quickly the bots are responding to you or how quickly that automation is taking care of the customer. It's how you're resolving that.
Totally.
Because what was happening is like, great, first response time, we're like over indexing for first response, but then customers are still unhappy because what's happening is the agents are then looking at, oh my God, I got to get to this within 2 minutes. But then like I'm completely forgetting what's in my inbox. And then like people are waiting, and so your average handle time is just going up and up and up. But like it's more important for you to like not respond. Let them get the generic bot message of like, hey, we see your message. We'll respond to you within 24 hours or whatever your SLA is. And, and also say like, it's the same team. Please don't open more tickets. Like we see you, we hear you, we're going to get to you. Anyway, that is just a hot
I
take.
hear you. And it's frustrating to maybe get a more detailed response from a bot pretty immediately, but then it has to be escalated because they didn't address what you needed help with.
Right.
And then you wind up waiting a long time to actually get a human to assist. And that's a weird experience to get a really quick response and then have to wait a really extended period of time. It's just not a really great look for any team.
I agree with you on any product that you're slanging. I mean, this was actually my next question to both of you, but where have you found automation or tooling actually supports better CX? And where do you think brands take it too far? I think we've discussed the too far, but like, where do you think it actually supports?
No, I think that really where it supports great customer service is those really simple questions that can just be answered immediately and don't really need to be, handled by a human. I think those really improve the customer service. So it's just like a simple question that can quickly be answered. Maybe the customer is not looking at the FAQ page. They're not looking at the knowledge center. And, a bot can just give that quick answer. I think that really improves customer service.
Yeah.
Wizmo.
Yes.
Types of tickets. Low-hanging fruit. And I don't ever want to push it and try to have automation, AI handle everything or, attempt to. We've been, taking it very slow. And just also going back to the question regarding response time, that's specifically obviously for email as well. Obviously for phone support, which we offer, as well as live chat, that's a different story,
Totally.
Completely. And I think those are the areas to focus on because it is frustrating if you're calling and you're waiting forever on hold.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a really good distinguisher. I think on email to not prioritize first response time, but like phone or chat, like people expect immediate
SMS
responses
as well. I think,
oh, yes.
It's really just like in life. Like, do you expect an immediate response from an email all the time? Typically, no. Do you expect to call someone and to hopefully get them to answer? Yes, usually. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. I think one of the other struggles is that people want to be everywhere, but for less money. Yes. And what I mean by less money is that you don't want to invest in the amount of people it takes you to be everywhere. Right. And each of these channels have different expectations. So hot take, every channel that you're on has a different expectation and you should plan accordingly.
Very true.
Definitely.
I'm like a little bowdy on that one. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think it's like that's the most frustrating thing. It's like I've even me personally, like you want to be everywhere, but you have to do it well. And it means like you can't necessarily have a team of 3 people to do it well.
Yeah, and it is hard sometimes to staff on the phones, for example, and that's why actually. Automation has been helpful there in that we do have AI assisting with our IVR, passing along tracking information for callers. And, that obviously allows fewer calls to be passed along to our team and faster, answer times. So
yeah,
that's helpful.
Yeah,
I agree. Let's switch gears to voice of the customer types of stuff because I love feedback loops. I love these topics. But Max, how do you bring the voice of the customer into the rooms that don't usually hear it, like product or even finance?
Great question. It's really tough thing to do, as a lot of people, I'm sure, working in this industry will know. We stay really close. We don't have a huge team at Tommy John. We pretty much know. Have a good relationship with most of the other departments. Product, for example, marketing, the site team. So we actually have Slack channels with each of those teams, those 3 specifically, where we're literally, it feels like sometimes daily,
Yeah.
giving feedback to them, what we're hearing about regarding a women's underwear leg or, an issue on the site. So I don't think voice of customer has to be a weekly or monthly report necessarily that you're sending to the entire company and maybe not everyone's looking at. I think it's also, while that's great, it's also about just really staying connected in real time to those within the company that can action on it really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then, Kara, from your perspective, though, but what does feedback look like in practice, right? Like, how are you actually collecting that for the team? So then, from the team, I'm sorry, how are you actually collecting that from the team? And what do you do with it from like your perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, this is very top of mind right now because we are currently actually doing some work with the feedback that we're receiving from our customers. But I would say first line, it comes directly from our agents. They are always the first to let us know of any like issues that they're in real time. So, for example, if there's an issue with a product that, maybe it's not something that we've ever heard before, our agents will let us know and they'll say, hey, we've heard from 10 customers today about X issue about this product. So they're always the first people to let us know an issue. And then from there, we can kind of dig into the numbers on the back end. But I would say first line is definitely from our agents. They're the ones that tell us about issues on the website or, any other sort of issues. So
Yeah, and as far as like just general maybe product issues, for example, they're uh, recording any instances of those, and they kind of know what is maybe something that's common that we hear about, and don't raise any red flags.
yeah.
But like Kara was saying, for anything maybe that we're starting to hear about an issue, oh, I got a second call about it. Oh, she got a call about it. That's when we really start to hear about that, and then that's really when we start to dive in and see who else has been affected by a certain issue.
Yeah. What do you think? And there's no wrong answer here, but at what point do you think that an issue warrants a bigger investigation? And then and this is gonna cause a little bit of bias, but the reason I'm asking this is because another thing I run into a lot is like, oh my God, I've gotten 5 issues reported on this one SKU, right? But then like the company's doing like 10,000 orders a day. So 5 issues in comparison to 10,000 orders is actually a really small percentage.
I've learned to be very careful about when we share this information. For others at the company that don't work as closely as we do with our customers, maybe 5 issues to them sounds like a ton, and they're not necessarily aware of how many items have been sold, or how many people reach out to us in general. So I think we've just learned to be selective about when we're choosing to share this information, taking it slow, because we've definitely seen exactly what you're talking about. And, sometimes these things really don't get any more, severe, these sorts of issues. So we will just keep an eye on it. Maybe we know that there's already been a change made to a specific product or something of that nature. And anything to add?
Yeah, I really just think that it's right now it's kind of we kind of do have that intuition of what's an actual problem versus what's something that's just being blown up in the our chat that we have with our agents.
Yeah, I know. I think it's really hard for every team to distinguish it, and it's really important to have like this leadership expertise of like that gut check and that intuition of like, oh, maybe I like need to look into this further. I think it's also just tracking it, right? Like tracking it overall. I want to talk about like career growth for you both, like individually. Kara, as you grow in your role, what's a skill or area you're excited to develop further?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think for me, it's really public speaking, and shout out to me being here.
You're doing great. You're doing fucking great.
That's something I definitely am working on for, as a part of my career growth. Definitely.
As a lot of people are struggling.
Yeah. It's tough, but I definitely would love to, do more public speaking. So yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I can say about public speaking in general is just that like nobody actually realizes how nervous you are but yourself. And there's been plenty of times where I've like the heat wave of like anxiety has come over me. And then I just like try to leave my body.
Yes.
So just learn to leave your body because you're doing great.
Yes.
You're doing really great. Max, let's talk about like CX future for Tommy John specifically. I'm really interested to hear from your perspective. What's the long-term What is the long-term vision for CX, the CX function at Tommy John? But also I would love to hear like what's going to define success of that in the next 1 to 2 years.
That's a great question. I would say that we are going to continue to adopt more AI into our, practices. The success is going to honestly hinge on the feedback we hear from our customers. I know that's a kind of a pretty basic answer to that, but it's the truth. Do we still have these amazing metrics because they really are wonderful? Or, are those starting to slip? Are we starting to, are things just in general falling through the cracks somewhere? Do we feel like we're not as close to our customers because we're not as in touch with them ourselves personally? So I think to answer your question, there is a lot that we're going to have to consider. And I think we're just going to have to take it kind of a month at a time and, get a pulse check.
Totally.
Yeah.
AI changes every single day, you guys. There's like some new tool out there that's like, I have AI today, and then you got to go figure it all out. It's a lot.
Yes.
It's a lot. Okay. The AI tools are a lot.
And we don't have to adopt them all.
Yes.
Don't feel the pressure to adopt
Oh
them
my
all.
God. Can we just talk about consolidation? Okay.
Yes, that would be wonderful.
Yeah. All right. For both of you though, if you could wave a magic wand and fix one thing about how CX is understood in e-com brands, what would it be? We don't need AI. No, I'm just kidding.
I would say that, I don't think it's misunderstood, but I don't think CX gets enough credit for retention in general. That's a big part of our jobs is keeping our customers coming back, especially the ones that had poor experiences. And I just, it's really up to us to communicate that to the company, just how amazing our team is doing. So that's definitely something we focus on. So yeah, I would say, we're also doing a great job just in terms of, driving sales.
Yeah.
But I think retention is really where we're doing great.
Exactly. I know we're not a cost center. That's like the common misconception. It's, the customer service looked at a cost center. So we really do an amazing job at, keeping our customers for sure, keeping them happy. And without happy customers, you don't have.
Yeah. And I don't think I hold grudges, but I know the companies that I've had poor experiences with.
Yeah.
And
I hold grudges.
Yeah. But it is true. Like you don't forget those experiences. At least I don't. And,
Dude,
no.
It counts. So
Yeah.
if a company can work with you and be human and have empathy and all these things that we talk about all the time, it actually isn't just talk. It means something.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, we're at rapid fire, new segment.
Love it.
First thing that comes to mind. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
And it's all CX related, or like team related, but this will be a fun one. Ready?
Okay.
Rapid fire. Most underrated CX skill.
Tone of voice.
Being able to laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Sense of
it's not
humor.
all like robots up in
Yeah.
here. Team motto or vibe right now.
Ooh.
Oh.
Collaborative.
Family.
Yeah. You were going to say familia?
Yeah, familiar.
Yeah. Okay, tool you can't live without.
That's a good question.
Gorgeous for me.
Yeah, I would say Google Chat, because that's how we're communicating with our team, actually.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, not
okay.
Slack, but yeah, Google.
Oh, God. Google Chat is like way less embracive, I got to tell you.
Yes,
You know?
you're right.
Wait, I said abrasive. Google Chat is way less abrasive,
Yes,
is what I said.
Yes.
Okay, last one. One thing that instantly makes a customer experience not premium.
Not premium. Okay. Lack of product knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say right off the bat, if they're not understanding my issue and having to clarify multiple times.
Ugh.
Recently had that with
somebody that will not be.
name. Yeah.
Okay.
If you have to
will not be named.
if you have to keep going through
Loops and hoops and just
Yeah. Anyway, we are at the end of the road, my friends.
Wow.
Max, tell the people where they can find you.
You could find me on LinkedIn, Max Wallace, Tommy John.
Great. And then Kara?
Same thing.
LinkedIn, baby.
Kara Randle,
Love it.
We're all building our personal brands up in here.
Thank you, Jess. You're awesome.
Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Above the Fold. We'll see you next week, and I appreciate you all. Dang, we've made it to the end of the podcast, and you're still here. So thank you so much for listening to Above the Fold podcast. For the best of this episode and every episode, be sure to follow us on Instagram and my YouTube channel. And for deeper dives on the secrets to brand success, don't forget to subscribe to my weekly newsletter, Sunday Postcards. All right, my dudes and gals, see you next week.